So I want to welcome everybody to Let's Make a Toast, man. I appreciate everybody for tuning in today, man. Today, as you can see, I am solo dolo. But I did bring somebody along with me, a special guest today. Now, this special guest right here, man, he is not the normal type of he's not the normal type of special guest you see. This man is completely different, but he's also as well too authentic as well. When I say this man don't work with BET, this man don't work with multiple artists like Kirk Franklin, Will Smith, and the list goes on and on and on and on and on. But I'm not gonna sit there and explain his story because he's his own man. I'm gonna sit back and let him explain his story for himself. Today on Let's Make a Toast, we're gonna introduce today as Chris Cavanaugh.
Perfect. What's going on, guys? I'm Chris Cavanaugh, out here and about with Let's Make a Toast, man. It's gonna be a good podcast, so stay tuned. We out here.
Yes, sir. So before we kind of dive in a little bit, man, I want to sit there and say thank you, Chris, for popping up today.
Of
Let's
course,
Make a
brother.
Toast.
Let's make a toast.
So make a toast for a good episode, man.
There we go.
Get
Cheers.
into it. Oh, glad, man. That first shot right there kind of set the tone a little bit.
It do.
Now I hope you kind of sit back, get your feet kicked up, and get ready, man.
We
'Cause
here.
I ain't gonna lie, man. Like I said, we here, man. We're gonna have a good time.
This feel like family.
So we're gonna dive into it, man. First part, man. Who is Chris?
Man, who is Chris Cavanaugh? Chris Cavanaugh is from Walterboro, South Carolina, by way of Charleston, South Carolina, by way of the world. Man, I am a celebrity photographer, a content creator, a entrepreneur, a mentor, a student. And I moved to Dallas about 3 years ago, working with one of the biggest musicians in gospel music, Kirk Franklin. I was over every single thing, imagery of him, from photo, from videos, social media, running him up, hundreds of thousands and millions of views, hundreds of thousands of, followers as well. That chapter ended in my life, and then I went into full-time entrepreneurship, full-time content creating, making things happen right here in the DFW, letting you know my views, thoughts, and opinions. And we just been blowing it up. We've been kicking it like crazy, and everything has been expanding just absolutely bonkers. So we out here, man.
Man, that's what's up, man. That's what's up, man. You said it's two things I understood. You said Kurt Franklin was one.
Yes.
We're gonna dive in that a little bit later because I want to hear about that type of story.
Okay.
Kind of that's interesting to hear about that. Kurt Franklin.
Heck yeah.
That's amazing. But one part you did say though, you say you from South Carolina, right?
Yes.
So my people, we originally from Bluffton, South Carolina.
Oh, man, really?
We came over from Angola, Africa, into South Carolina. So you said South Carolina. What's that? Is that language that they came over with? What's the language called?
Gullah Geechee.
Gullah Geechee.
Absolutely.
Gullah Geechee. Yeah, man. So explain a little bit more about that South Carolina type of culture over there, man, if you don't mind.
Oh, man. So growing up in South Carolina, I'm from the deep South. Like, I'm from Walterboro, South Carolina, then by way of Charleston, South Carolina. And it's, your typical country upbringing, being able to have your cousins in all one plot of land. Everybody around you is your family. Everybody around you is, you went to school with. Their parents went to school with your parents. And moving into Charleston, that was a whole nother like cultural side of everything, because you got to know the Gullah Geechee side of, the other half, from, like by way of Africa. Then you start learning more of your culture and where you come from outside of, what with the United States. But man, Charleston is a city. I like to make it as it's very colorful, but also, it can use some more vibrancy.
Yeah, I feel
Heck yeah.
I feel okay. So you say Gullah Geechee. Can you kind of dive in a little bit more about that Gullah Geechee, if you don't mind?
So, it's coming from, Africa and Jamaica and, Haiti and all of these things like that. And it's where, from Africa, that culture went and migrated to the South. So it's within a lot of our like African roots and, all of those things.
Okay, man. It's a quick little sidetrack, man. It's actually funny. You said Gullah Geechee. That I got that in my DNA as well. When I was growing up, I realized I used to speak too fast.
Yes.
I speak very, very fast. I'm talking like I could say probably about 20 words within like 3-4 seconds.
Jeez.
It was that bad. Where I go to school, they thought I had like some type of learning disorder.
Right.
I took all the speech classes, speech therapists. They thought I had some type of like speech problem. To found out, that's when my mama told like the school administrator, somebody that know this man got Gullah Geechee in him. So like if he talk very fast and repetitive, tell that boy to slow down. Take a deep breath.
Completely.
Man, oh my God, listen, man. When I say that was probably the toughest 3-4 years I had, just to understand how to slow down my speeches and actually be very clear to communicate.
And articulate full.
Oh yeah, man, yeah, man. But you start articulate. I want you to dive in a little bit more. What was very creative? What is creative right now in your career as you're in right now?
Say that one more time.
What is creative right now that you do? Very
God, mentorship.
Mentorship.
That's creative to me. Being able to paint the picture for somebody else that they can then you can hand that off and allow them to create their own masterpiece. You know, I feel I have been doing so much over these 17 years of being a creator for myself, for others, in photography, in video, in social media, all of these different things. Now being able to go back and show people how I did what I did, who I am, and help them to do the same thing. That has been the most beautiful form of artwork that I've, witnessed, because you get to see somebody take a you get to have somebody with a blank canvas coming into the entertainment or media industry, or content creative industry, and then me hosting workshops and me hosting master classes, showing them how to go from 0 to 100. That has been my art, and that has been my creativity that I've been giving back to in this season.
That's actually a blessing. I know for me, I do a lot of, like I said, mentorship as well.
Absolutely.
When it comes, like I said, getting back to community and make sure I get back to these, like the young youths. I know sometimes with these young youth, especially parents, like kids in single parent households,
completely,
they don't have like certain resources that I guess as adults that we built. That sometimes, like I say, these kids trying to have that little grind mentality.
Absolutely.
It's kind of like giving them the blueprint. Kind of showing them like, okay, like instead of doing these steps, I'm gonna give you the correct steps. Still, you can follow this if you want to, but these are the actual correct steps of how to be like a successful entrepreneur or wherever you want to be in your career.
Completely.
Okay,
I agree.
Okay. So, man, what keeps you going every day then? Like, what keeps you going?
Understanding that every single day, I am not yet I'm not that person of who I fully desire to see Chris Cavanaugh as, understanding that my mom and dad are not retired from everything, from every bill, understanding that I have nieces and nephews who are going to need to see their Uncle Chris in even higher level of financial independence, of all of these things and access to help them and assist with where they want to go within life. And then also just, me personally, I'm a go-getter. I've always been a person who go after what I want, and understanding that picture is not fully painted yet. And every day that I get up and I breathe air is the opportunity for me to go forth and go beyond to make what I want happen, get there even closer.
So you're a go-getter?
Absolutely.
Man, what's a go-getter to you? What's a go-getter?
Me.
You?
Somebody who wakes up every single day and shows up and consistently, even when there is the smallest amount of results or the largest amount of results, still go after it. They don't sit in success. They don't sit in complacency. They strive every single day to make something happen, to be something, to create something, to manifest something. That's a go-getter to me. Somebody who doesn't take no for an answer.
So you see every day as a new day then?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Completely.
Why you see every day as a new day then? Like, why don't you just sit there like, I know, like in today's time, people sit there and dwell on like, I had like people say, oh, I had 1 million views yesterday, but today you woke up with 5 views. Well, like, are you gonna sit there and dwell on those 1 million views and brag about it for the next 2 or 3 weeks, or are you gonna sit there trying to do the same repetition you did when you got the 1 million views?
I always have been that person that I never sit in success too long, and maybe that's sometimes a positive and a negative. Because sometimes you need to sit in what you've created and what you've manifested over these years to see how far you have come. But for me, I'm like, what's next? At the end of the day, it's a new possibility to get closer to that dream, that thing, that vision that you've seen in the back of your mind, to be existing in it. So every day that I wake up, it's the possibility for the possibility, and that's always been my big thing. And I have done some of the most incredible things that people would never be able to do in a lifetime. But the fact that I've done it, it's always a what's next from that, because yes, I've toured the world. I've been to the award shows. I've worked with the biggest people in the world. I've traveled around the world. I've done this, but what's next after that? You know, are you going to sit and just keep talking about that, or are you going to keep creating something off of the backs of what you've done for that and the foundation you created with that to build even higher, to build even stronger?
What's Chris' vision?
Oh my God. Chris's vision in this season is to educate, motivate, and inspire. To be able to host gatherings where people get to come together and network. People get to come together and learn, you know, what is possible through someone who has a untraditional way of becoming successful. I don't have a high school diploma. I come from a small town. I come from an untraditional background of what success and formulas of success look like. I come from South Carolina. At the end of the day, people say if you can make it out of New York, or you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. If you can make it out of South Carolina, you can do whatever you want to in this world. You know, so when it comes down to what that looks like in this season, man, it's always forever changing, but at the end of the day, it's like expansion.
I said, if you don't mind me asking, you mentioned that you don't have no high school diploma, right?
No, heck no.
Okay. For me, I come from a background where my folks installed school education in college. So I got a college background. I got my degree in sports business from Stephen F. Austin University.
Absolutely.
But as I got older, I realized that my mindset is not attached to that piece of paper when I walk across that stage. And I was going to ask you, with you not having a high school diploma, what type of effects did that have against you, or you feel like that you didn't have no effect? You just feel like that you knew who you was at a young age. You just knew what you want to do. You just didn't know how it was going to look to get there.
Honestly, I knew how it was going to look to get there.
Oh, you did?
Completely.
Okay.
I always had, number one, my first thing of that, what I wanted to do was be a very successful realtor in Beverly Hills, selling multi-million-dollar homes. I'm good at selling it. If you look at my social media, you know that I can influence people to do things.
I peeped. Hey, I ain't gonna lie, man. He got a following. If he posts something, guess what? People gonna sit there. They gonna watch the whole video. He got that type of influence, all right?
But when it comes down to that, I've always been, I would have a point and shoot little Kodak. As a middle schooler, I would have the same thing. I think once we started to get to the tail end of middle school into high school, they came out with the digital point and shoots. And so I was taking that to school, and I was always documenting life and my memories with my friends. And then it turned into people like, hey, you good at that. So I was starting my own business at about 15 years old.
Wow.
My mom gave me, actually my aunt was hosting a event at our church. And she wanted me to set up a backdrop to charge people about $5-10 to do photos. I would photograph them, and then I would print it off immediately. So you got a tangible good, and then sell those for about $5 or $10. And that night I made about $375 from there.
Wow.
And from there, I was like, hold up. I just took pictures. I made money. I like this. And back then, I mean, $375 was a lot of money, you know? And I mean, shoot, this $375 is a lot of money.
It's still like
it can do some things.
Yeah, $375. Listen, that's about at least about 6-7 tanks of gas right there. I think.
Listen,
you know what I'm saying?
It's one trip to the grocery store.
Yeah, there you go.
There
you go. Yeah.
But from that, I started to kind of progress that. I've always been a person, like I said, of a what's next type situation. So when it came down to the photography and building and all of that, like taking that, I said, okay, I'll run with it. And it expanded to starting that business. And of course you have your hurdles and your ebbs and flows with that. But from that day, I knew who I was. You know, I knew what I was going to do, you know. And then, of course, you know, you living in the South, you go into these churches and you get the bishops that prophesy to you, this is who you are. You know, so, I mean, this is who God wants you to be. So then you learn very, very early your assignment and your mission to the world, you know. So completely.
I think you just hit it on there on that last part, talking about when you understand your assignment to the world.
Heck yeah.
Sometimes one other thing I learned, especially throughout my years, I wish I had actually had you in my corner when I was younger, Cause like I wouldn't have to go through like certain things I went through because I had somebody in my ear be like, man, you don't need this shit, bro. This shit waste of time, man. You ain't got to waste 4 or 5 years right here. Come over here with me.
Do it just like this.
You don't do it like this, right? And in about 2 or 3 years, you gonna make more money. Than
it's gonna work.
You know what I'm saying? So I wish I had that type of, you know, that voice in my ear right there telling me.
Listen, I'm that friend.
Yeah, man. Listen, we need friends like that. You hear me? Let's make a toast. And first of all, I call my. My crew don't like it, but we call our fans toasties. Toasties, man.
A little toasty up here.
Yeah, getting a little toasty, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? My toasties, man. So
what up, the toasties?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? My boy ain't got toasties, man. You know what I'm saying? My boys, they might not like it, but guess what, man? We the toasties. The fan group, man, they the toasties.
Listen.
But I think with our fan group, man, like I said, a lot of us, man, I know a lot of our followers, bro. It's different variety with how people like. I think especially me running my social media page and seeing who's like engagement, interacting, it's like everybody is skillful in some type of different way.
Absolutely. From
like entrepreneurship to attorneys to law firm to teachers, coaches, everything is a variety.
Completely.
But I feel like that each one they tune in to Let's Make a Toast, it's like they can hear from like people who not been in that type of situations, but got that type of life experience to sit there and like and share their stories to them. Absolutely. Just like you might not know what you just said right there, man. It might touch about 5 to 7, 8 people. Whatever.
I hope it do.
You know what I'm saying? You know what, man? Yeah, you're right, man. I don't need no college degree. Cause like I said, sometimes, man, like people get stuck in that little wheel, and like I said, it's that little. Nothing. And so sometimes there's nothing wrong with that, but I feel like there's always some type of.
It's always an alternative route.
Yeah, there you go.
To the mission.
But I feel like I also kind of blame the older generation for that as well,
completely,
too. Because with the older generation, they're used to that little 9 to 5, come home, you know, so everything. Boom,
you
boom.
find a job that works for you. You work it until you retire. And then you retire, and then you do what you need to do, and you take that retirement check and you try to make it stretch.
But here's the thing, though. Sometimes, like, them folks when they hit retirement, they about 65, 66, 67.
And I don't want to live life at 65.
I've been real. Old. Listen, man, I've been real, man. I tell folks, man, I'm not trying to be.
Nah.
I ain't trying to retire by 65, y'all. I said, listen, I got a haircut today. I saw 2 gray hairs in my beard. I said, shit.
And how old are you?
I'm 31.
Oh, we're around the same age.
How old are you?
33.
Oh, maybe. Oh, yeah, you're right around the same age. Were you 92?
93? January 1st in 1993.
January 1st.
Shout out to the Capricorns.
Oh, you a New Year's baby.
I mean, first one of the year in South Carolina. I'm still trying to find where my money at because they gave me all these gifts and then the bank closed down.
January 1st.
That's 33 years of interest.
hey, you better pay that motherfucker.
Pay me.
You better pay that motherfucker. South Carolina.
I need that.
Listen, man, we're going to come out, all right? We're going to find that goddamn bank.
Could you imagine finding you got 33 years of interest build up with whatever they gave you?
Man, I can't imagine.
I need that.
Man, you?
Chicken wings are $80 for 3.
Chicken wings for $80.
It's a hyperbole. But it's about
oh, hyperbole. I said, whoo, shit. That's a hey, brother. I ain't trying to eat there yet, man. Hey, boss, I ain't trying to eat there. Shit. Hey, I'm with my Williams chicken, man. My golden chick.
That part.
Hey, boy, I'm satisfied with the golden chick, but kind of diving into like the next part of the segment, man. It's called building the brand.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I know you got your own personal brand. You know what I'm saying?
Heck yeah.
Photographer. You say you work with BET and things like that. One of the first I want to ask is, how did photography evolve you into this business right now?
Oh, man. At first, I was just a photographer. I was photographing. I started off working with, just models and things like that. I would be that kid that's taking my whole equipment setup, all this that's up in here right now, taking that to school. Can you imagine how crazy I looked? Bringing lights, stands, flashes.
You said to school?
Yes.
You talking like high school?
Yes, plus the tuba case.
How old?
About 16, 17.
So all of this... And you said a tuba case, you in band?
Heck yeah, marching.
Woo.
Listen.
Brother.
Completely. So you got that, and you got this, and you bringing it all into, you got band class, this period. You got photography, this period. Field photography class.
You felt it?
Shout out to Miss Palanin, but not shout out to you.
Fuck you.
She was petty with the 69 I failed. She could have gave me that one more point.
Listen, man, fuck you. All right. Look where you at right now. Look where you at right now.
We here at Let's Make a Toast.
You want another shot?
I'm
pour one for me real quick, man. But go ahead, man.
I'm a lightweight.
You what?
I'm a very much lightweight.
Listen, I'm a Johnson, man. I ain't gonna hold you, bro. This in my blood.
Listen.
It's in my blood, man.
And being that my last name is Cavanaugh, I got that. I think I got some Irish in me before it was transported from Africa.
See, when I heard your last name, I thought it was more like Creole.
Mm-mm.
I expected Creole more than Irish.
Well, listen, my daddy don't know his daddy, so we don't know what's up in there.
You know, so crazy. You say that. That's why we kind of got a little bit similarities. You said you're from South Carolina. My dude from South Carolina. You said your dad don't know his dad. My dad, he didn't know his dad.
You might be my cousin.
Might be. Long distance.
Probably.
Somehow we just ended up here, man. We just met, was it Wednesday?
Let me tell you something. I met a guy. I was making a video about apartments downtown Dallas. I was talking about this guy's apartment. How about he right from Walterboro, South Carolina, where I'm from. He a barber here. Right on the same street that I live in.
Wait, for real?
Yes. From Walterboro. Literally same family, same, like, all of that. So
basically, y'all know each other.
Yep. So now I got to start going to him to get a haircut.
Is that you was out earlier today?
Oh,
he wasn't.
I was at my other boy. Shout out to Sean.
Sean, man. Oh yeah, man. Hey, shout out to my other boy, man. Flow Phase, man.
Heck yeah.
Hey, man. Hey, Flow Phase will get you right, man. I told you, hey, his motto: get it right, get it tight. Right. Get it right, man. What's your barber name again?
Sean.
Sean.
Last name I don't know, but Sean, this is for you.
Hey, man. Sean, you're doing your damn thing.
At Suave Elite Barbershop on Ross Avenue.
Okay, man. But we want to dive back in, man, to that. You was mentioning about your story about you carrying on one hand your photography stuff, on the other hand your tuba case. Somebody you going to high school, 16, 17 at that time. How was that?
Oh man, I moved from Walterboro into Somerville about like 10th, 11th grade, and you know, with me moving to a new city, of course, you come from the country, and you got your friends who everybody looked like country people. Yeah. Shout out to the country. We were still wearing the Jabots and we were still wearing the Ralph Lauren shoes, even in the summer, and when it was hot, and the polo shirts. But then you move to Somerville, and it's you got more access to different stores. So people dressing up a little bit more. Yeah. People is more of the city. So now you got the people who are looking a little more city. Yeah. So I was like, okay, let's start photographing, let's start taking pictures. And plus back then I was more so in the place of looking at America's Next Top Model. So I would always take my equipment to school with me and set up editorial shoots with my friends or things that I was inspired by. And I would take that equipment and we would do photo shoots after school, make full productions, like outfits. One friend is styling, one friend is doing hair, one friend is doing makeup. We had whole productions in high school.
So basically, y'all already had your own production team already before you even established a production team, really.
Completely. And the crazy thing is, even just one of my friends that we were doing that with, shout out to my friend Demont. Demont is now working in New York as a big creative director with Google and all these, different fashion brands and all of that. So he was styling and like kind of directing the sets and all of that. And I was doing the photography. So the fact that I've become who I am, the fact that he is who he is, has been really, really dope.
And that's actually interesting. So you said, how many was it? Because you said it was like a group production team, right? How many was it, y'all?
It was me. It was Demont. We would have girls who wanted to be and feel pretty. And then it was some people from Millie Lewis, going to the Millie Lewis agency that they were like a part of in my hometown. And, we had hair, we had makeup, we had styling, creative directing. We had people who would want to just be around and be on set and hold my lights and stuff like that and help me shoot. Like we had full production, like a full production staff.
Let me ask you this then, man, because you said you was in that type of production and stuff like that. Did anybody really like the outsiders, who really didn't know what y'all was doing that period of time? Did y'all feel like any type of negativity or anything?
Absolutely.
How was that?
Oh my, that's why I got expelled, kicked out of school, all that. Yeah. Think about, even though you were in a bigger city, it was still that mindset sometimes of jealousy and, what's going on and what are y'all doing. So, of course, you had people who were hating and people who would be upset that either you didn't want to work with them. They wanted a free photo shoot. We're sitting here building something towards our future. You want photos. Yeah. We were putting together whole editorial shoots and curating this thing. So, of course, people feel some friction with that. And you got the people who do support it. And you had the people who did not support it at all or, would make up rumors and all of that. So it was kind of the yin and yang of, what that was. Yeah. But at the end of the day, we became who we became, and we did what we did.
To be honest, man, it's like y'all took that risk. But y'all taking that risk, man. So
you got to.
You really just said that on the nail. You have to take the risk nowadays. It's like,
because if you don't, what does that look like when you're sitting in your bed and you're looking at yourself at 3 a.m. in the mirror and knowing that you could have, but you didn't.
You playing it safe.
You played it safe.
You played it safe. It's like instead of you like stepping out that shell
Completely.
And like I said, because really, if you step out that shell, you're gonna have to do something like not do something like it's gonna be uncomfortable at first.
Absolutely.
Because like it's like everything like going from that 9 to 5 and trying to step into entrepreneurship is like there's no type of like security no more. It's like it's everything's on you now.
Completely.
And people scared because they might. I know a lot of people that stepped into the entrepreneurship and went right back into the 9 to 5 because that was security for them, like security income, security jobs, stuff like that.
And I feel that we in a world where like I mean bills come every 30 days. Which I think they should be every 60 to 90, but they come every 30 days and they pack up and expenses are not the same.
Yeah.
But for me, it's like, would I rather sit in a little form of uncomfortability and know that I put my best foot forward to, at minimum, try multiple avenues to make this thing work, or try one avenue, get some friction from it, pushback from it, and then don't do it at all. And then life goes and happens, and you see the very people who was doing it with you, now they're succeeding and they're living this life you wish, you know?
And like I said, I had a few friends at that point in time. I remember I was in college. And I'll never forget. I think I went through like a little small depression at that point. I seen a lot of my friends like we all graduated at high school at the same time, but it took it took me 7 years to graduate college. It took them 4 or 5. So by my year 5, they're like traveling, exploring businesses, stuff like that. I'm still in college. I'm like shit. I'm like fuck, bro. I said this shit can't be life for me.
Listen,
this shit can't be life.
And how did you maneuver out of that process and that thought process of like comparison?
Man, I just realized I just stopped comparing myself to everybody else. I realized that was meant for them. If for them was meant for me, meant for me. And but if I know that if I know that I'm actually seeing a problem right now, that's the first step of actually taking action, seeing the problem. The second step is what type of solution do I have to come up with to put my actions together now.
Completely.
And I'll be honest, man, if it was a little bit discomfort at first. Like I said, I think even with my production team, I told our producer in the background one day, I said, when we first started the podcast, I said, that was a whole different setting than I've ever been in before. Like, putting myself out there.
Completely.
Now it's like, people already know me already just from like me, you know what I'm saying, my little area.
Completely.
I said, but this I'm putting myself out there to social media. I'm putting myself out there to like a whole new fan base that's trying to like gravitate, trying to pull towards.
Completely.
And like I said, I might not know, man. I said there might be times where I might make mistakes. There might be times where I was like, shit, I should have done this different.
It's a part of it.
Yeah, but at the same time, I feel like that's what made me grow and made me be a better version of myself.
Absolutely.
So I had to take that. I had to be uncomfortable just to get uncomfortable.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I respect that. I respect that. Also, we still staying, you know, building a brand. Basically, on this topic right here is basically how important is personal branding in 2026.
Personal branding is extremely important because it allows you to separate yourself from the people who are doing the same thing but have not created one. You know, it's a lot of content creators out there. It's a lot of it's a lot of podcasts out there as well. Yeah. But what you do with that and what you create outside of that identity is, you know, important. You have a room of people who you are associated with that are doing this podcast. But what after this podcast, when the lights turn off, when the cameras are not rolling, what have you created within your identity to this? You know, because people want to know who you are once you walk out that room. And I think that's a very important factor of building. You know, you got to build your brand identity, your brand perception, and all of those things. And that's one thing that I stress to any person that I mentor is that as a creator, as a photographer, a videographer, it is more than just that camera right there. You know, when that comes off, how do people connect with you outside of that? What customer base do you want to attract outside of what you do by clicking that camera? Because who you are outside of that camera is going to then expand you to opportunities, you know, in customer bases and client bases of what that looks like. Yeah, you can be that photographer and that person who takes the identity of I shoot everybody. I don't want to shoot everybody. I don't want to shoot everybody.
Hey, listen, man. I can't interview. I can't.
I want to shoot and photograph the people who need my service. Number one, the people who have things going already, and also who have a certain tax bracket to be able to pay for the services and operations and the team that I bring in to assist with your project. You know, so even within that, like I tell people, you start maneuvering, start changing your life, start getting a little sauce about yourself, because
Yeah.
that's the way that you present to the world is only going to attract a certain level of clientele, to you. So
I told my the kids I mentor, and I because some of them be a little bit nervous sometimes when they try like to step outside the box. And I told them, I said, for me, I said I coach and I teach. I said the first time I noticed, I said when I see a new kid walk in, I said I know a new kid got confidence or don't got confidence.
listen,
I said I can tell from the way he dressed, the way he looked, how he present himself. He got a clean cut, his hair messy. I said no matter what, I said wherever you walk into, the first thing people gonna see is your you being presentable.
completely
What are you wearing?
that
Right.
presentation.
It's a presentation. I said once you get done, I said once you get past the presentation, then it comes like conversation. I said once you get past presentation and conversation, that's when you leave your impact. That's when you leave your impact right there.
I just had this conversation with some kids at that FIFA tournament. They were upset because people weren't buying from them. And they look like little
little salty, you know
little,
what I'm
little
saying?
hood,
Yeah, you know what
little
I'm
hood
saying?
kid. And
I know.
hair was all over the head and everything like that, and just coming out in any type of presentation. And it's like, I know you have financial factors and stuff like that plays a part. But if you coming out here to sell, you need to look like you coming to sell.
There you go.
I'm not buying something from your box when you looking crazy.
Yeah,
So I'm like, you in this, but at the end of the day, like, these people are presentable with what they're selling, their merchandise, and especially when you're selling food, people want you to look a certain way before I take something that's coming out your box.
There you go.
So
There you go.
but yeah, that presentation is everything.
That's like for me. When I like, if somebody do episode on the podcast, I tell everybody, man, you better put your best fit on. I said, people gonna see what you got on. That's why I said, we in front of the camera for an hour and 30 minutes. People gonna see what you got on. They're gonna see what you got on. They're gonna hear what you want to say.
Completely.
I said, especially man, I said, I ain't gonna lie. For me, I care about how I smell too.
Completely.
I gotta make sure, man. I got like at least something on my body.
Oh, completely.
At least something on my body. If I pass those three right there, man, listen, they gonna remember me. I said they gonna remember the name.
Heavy on that.
They gonna remember the name. I said that's also part of the branding though. So like I said, so with that part being part of branding, do you like emphasize that a lot on your mentorship with those kids?
Oh, completely. I tell them, when you start making some money, you put yourself in a nice place. Like your environment controls the trajectory of your expansion in your mind and your connections and the possibility. One of the biggest things that I've learned, especially moving to Dallas, when I first moved here, I was in a modest loft, and it was cool. It's a nice loft. It was downtown Dallas, and the conversations that I would have with the people in that loft was totally different. People would talk about going to work and coming home, and either going out for the weekend. And then I was like, okay, cool. I started expanding my brand a little bit more. I was able to afford living in a luxury high rise. I moved to the best high rise in downtown Dallas, and it was number one off of, you ain't got to be in the most expensive place. You just got to be in the neighborhood and in the building, because the perception to the outside is everybody up in there got something going on. And when you're in there, you never know who is, who
gonna walk in, who gonna walk out.
I mean, shoot, who is you on the elevator with? Because everybody, you're already in the building, you're already a resident here, so you never know who you're speaking with, and they don't know who they're speaking with. So the perception in the presentation that somebody presents to you is to treat you of value. And with that, just being in a new space, the conversations were totally different. You talk to people who own multiple companies, and they talking about how they made $6 million that month. And then you go from hearing people who just, are tired of being tired, to people who they're expanding in their life, and they have connections and opportunities, and you're living in the building with, big musicians and big athletes and all of these things. So the conversations and the mindsets were totally different. But one thing I say, like, invest your money with where you lay your head, And like I said, you don't have to be the biggest unit, or, the most expensive apartment, but that environment will change and allow you to start getting in connection with things that expand your revenue, expand your opportunity, your ways of thinking. And it did it for me, and it allowed me to, and like I tell them, to have, number one, the presentation of, like I said, when you're building a brand, the perception of what people think outside of that is everything. They just see the building. They see that as a luxury building. They don't know that you paying I mean, shoot, probably $2,600 a month. But now, I mean, shoot, that's basic rent at this point. They don't know that you're paying $2,600, $2,700 a month because you're in the same building with people who are paying $30,000 a month, and they don't know that. They don't know you know.
Yeah.
So it's like they just see the outside of it, and with that, those who see it, they come to you different. It expands. My customer scene that I moved to a high rise, and the customer base changed from what I was attracting at the loft to what I was attracting living in the high rise. You know, so that's always try to, at minimum, what you show the most of, kind of tweak that presentation.
Okay. So, Chris, you remember asking, what things do you value in life?
Ooh, I value God. I value family. I value time. I value love. I value people who have ideas. I value people who are kind. I value people who are respectful, ambitious. I value people who care about the general environment of those who are around them. You know, I value creativity.
Okay. So you basically value...
And I value myself.
Yeah, I mean, of course. You have to value yourself.
Oh, no. A lot of people don't. Don't say, of course.
You know, so crazy, I actually, to be honest...
People don't value themselves.
I came across a few people in my life that were willing to go viral, and they don't, you know what I'm saying? They want to go outside their character, just for a little 5-second fame.
Listen,
and like I said, that's actually, to be honest, I preach that a lot to my boys. I don't got kids, but you know, to my mentor.
I'm about to say, you a father?
No, hell no. Hell no.
You ain't got to say it like that.
No, I will say it like that. Hell no, boy. Listen, man. The way these, hey, I tell a lot of people, man, have fun out here. All right, have fun. Be yourself, have fun.
My saying is, live, let live, and enjoy.
I said, if you want 3 girls, have 3 girls. All right, just have fun. Have fun.
How many kids you got?
0. How many kids you got?
None.
Oh, it should be good. Hey, that's a shot right there. 3 black men, no kids. There you go. But basically, like I said, time back to that though, man. I just want, I tell a lot of my boys, man, before you try to find your identity, I said, you're going to have to go through multiple seasons of changes to find your identity.
Completely.
I said, multiple seasons. I said, just because you found yourself the first season, heck, it's fall. There's 4 seasons.
Oh my God.
You still got spring, winter, and summer.
Mm-hmm.
I said, you don't know how 2 to 3 months gonna look. And
absolutely.
You don't know how it's gonna look. Just because you're up right now in fall, say, heck, in 2 months, man, you might have some type of situation where you ain't never been there before.
Mm-hmm.
And now you got to sit there and think about, like, I think even like I said, we talk about people that step out, do uncharacteristic things. It's like I said, they stepped out themselves just for, like I said, in the sad part, I see people at one point in time was doing stuff for money. Stuff like that, like I said, trying to sell themselves, or like I said, just not be themselves for that little 5 to 10, for that little exposure.
Completely. And
my thing is like, do you really? I said, and now in today's time, would you tell kids nowadays, before you fall for that peer pressure, stay within that season a little bit longer before you step out that season to do something uncharacteristic where you're gonna sit there and regret for the next 3, 4, 5 years of your life? Do you sit there and stay in that type of not struggle mentality, but find your way mentality to make sure you get out of it? So when you get out of the situation, you can go back to that exact same season of what you did to get out, or you want them to get out that season to do something uncharacteristic to hurt themselves. But even though you got a little piece of fame, a little piece of money from it, that's something they still got to think about to this day. 5, 6 years later.
Right.
What would you tell them?
Definitely don't do that's gonna get that you're gonna regret. I mean, but even though it's kind of a double-edged sword, because sometimes you do have to go into places where you have to bump your head to learn. And sometimes you have to, like, if you go forth, and that takes a little bit more time, and you can sometimes get in a place where, like, you stayed the course and ain't shit happen. Because it was no learning experience. It was a smooth ride, to that. And sometimes you need to go outside of the untraditional and bump your head a little bit to be like, hey, like, this is what it is, But I feel you should definitely not put yourself in a crazy position, especially in this day and age in the world as young people, as Black people, or people of color, because our punishment is totally different than others, you know. But I definitely say, at minimum, try to do your best.
Yeah.
It's not realistic that somebody gonna just stay the positive course, you know.
Yeah. I know you just said about the unusual punishment for especially our culture. I know you've been, I know you've been keeping up with certain things on social media about, what's been going on today's time. You heard about the young boy in Frisco, Texas, about this whole case situation. I ain't gonna dive too much deep into it, but basically,
I think elaborate on it a little bit. Because there's been so much happening.
That young boy named Carmelo Anthony.
Yes.
At that track meet.
Yes.
And people trying to claim that it was self-defense. And for me, I feel like that at that point, just from hearing the backstory, all that stuff, I did think it was self-defense.
Mm-hmm.
Now, she got charged with first-degree murder because that's premeditated.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't think it should.
So what happened?
They get that boy, they sentenced him to 35 years.
For what he do? What did he do?
He basically, from what I heard, and like I said, it's a lot of stuff's going on because he just did appeal. So they trying to fight because they think it was very unruly. All that. It was a lot of stuff that I think that was like that what they did in that court case wasn't right. But what happened was basically going to the root of it. They said that it was two to four boys approached Carmelo Anthony at the track meet.
Mm-hmm.
Carmelo was not supposed to be underneath the tent. He was not supposed to be underneath there.
Mm-hmm.
But he was there because one of his friends went to another high school, was underneath that tent. And he called him down to come to the tent. When he came down to the tent, they say he was there for multiple minutes. There was multiple kids there as well, too. They didn't tell Carmelo to move. They didn't do none of that. They basically just like, he just really get here. Then you see these other boys came out of nowhere, and I guess they witnessed Carmelo underneath the tent. When they witnessed it, they told Carmelo to get out the tent. Carmelo said, no, I'm not going to get out the tent. The boys said something else, and Carmelo says, no, I'm not getting out the tent. One of them tried to get physical. It was one of the white boys tried to get physical. Carmelo said, if you touch me, he said, don't touch me. He said it out loud. He said, don't touch me. Do not touch me. They showed a little small glimpse, of the video, and it was so blurry you can't see it, but you can tell something happened underneath that tent where he was underneath the tent, he ran up, and he ran back down. So you knew he was trying to get away from something.
Always run.
Yeah. Especially
when you got a blicky.
There
always run.
There you go.
Because once you look at jewelry, they're going to always be like, what opportunities did you have to leave that place?
And that's what they're trying to say. And that's what they're trying to say. They say he had every opportunity to leave that situation, which I guess in that point in time he could. Because
once you come back, or once you have not tried,
so
that's unfortunate.
So sadly, he got 35 years for defending himself. Everybody trying to say he defended himself. I feel like he did. Now, was it right for killing that young boy? I feel like that is not right to kill anybody at that period, especially if that's severe, because you still lost a life. You still got to be charged with something. Got to be set right there. But 35 years though, and I feel like that was just really like there was.
We're not 35.
No, we're not. That boy was 17 when that happened. He's 19 now, so
we are not even 35. So think about it. We have years to even get to that point. So 17 and then you got 35 years. It's like that's like I said,
that's sickening.
Like I said, we go through different things of different punishment. I've had so many friends who have either died or been charged with murder. One of my friends, he ain't getting out until I'm 45 years old. So it's like our charges in the way. That's why I say our things are different.
That's why for me, I preach to these young boys in community. It's like, listen, you gotta understand, like, especially like being a black culture. I said some rules don't apply to us.
No,
I was being completely honest with y'all. I said just because whatever they do on that side it will not apply to us. I said, so you gotta understand. Like I said, one thing I learned a lot too, especially from my grandparents. So my granddad from Bluffton, South Carolina. My grandma from Florida. My mom from Brunswick, Georgia. So like they seen like they from like the 60s, 50s, 40s, and 30s. So like they seen certain shit that I didn't have to see. So growing up at a young age, what they was telling me, like move like this, act like this, because you can't act like that.
That part.
If you act like that, then you're not gonna get the same consequences like
Right.
them. So they was like, I was at a young age. They taught me at a young age like how to really maneuver a little bit, especially in my skin color.
It's unfortunate.
It is,
It's
and like I know sometimes in that, especially in that boy Carmelo situation, I know Frisco is more like of an area with like a little bit more money and financial freedom, and I know certain parts of Frisco is like that. I don't know every part of Frisco, but I know certain parts like that from the outside looking in. But usually, if you in an area like that, especially as a black family, they looked upon as Carmelo as like, okay, he's a little bit more privileged than the average black person, so he probably don't understand.
How old was he?
At that point, he was 17. He was 17 when that happened.
Jeez.
So he's 19. So he just got sentenced about 2-3 weeks ago.
Jeez.
He just got sentenced. He's 19 now. He got transferred to, I forgot where he got transferred to, but he's doing his time right now. But he got appeal.
Well, that's unfortunate for both families. Yeah.
It is. Like I said, on the other side of the family, like I said, they had to bury a kid. They had to bury their son, their grandparent, their grandson, stuff like that. So
Completely.
both families lost something at the end of the day. That's actually saddening because, like I said, I feel like that situation could easily be been prevented. Just walk away or just
walk away. Even as an adult.
Yeah.
When I started to step into the social media, side of things, I made sure that I learned gun safety. I made sure that I learned my rights and my rules with being who, I'm developing as and who I am in this day. Because, sometimes nigga try you,
Facts.
And at the end of the day, when it comes to having that, like, yeah, you can be that person that feel like did you have the opportunity to flee?
Yeah, there you go.
Because you start to think outside of what the reality and the circumstance is, even though sometimes things move so fast.
It's quick.
But also you have to understand that you got jewelry who feels, totally different.
They said you had a thought process. Jury always think about what was your thought process during that period.
Somebody could literally break in your house or my house. They're in front of us with a machete while we're laying in the bed. If we take our gun out and shoot that person, we could literally be charged for murder and also life.
There you go.
They came in our house.
We still got going to trial.
And even how you articulate it is a thing when you get on that phone.
Yeah, there you go.
And if you say that you killed somebody,
you don't say you on the screen. You don't say
nope.
nothing. You be like, hey, I just shot somebody.
Nope.
And especially
I was in a situation where I had to defend myself because I had no way out.
You ever heard that saying for the black culture? We are guilty until proven innocent, and never innocent to proven guilty.
Completely.
I actually think that's actually true when it comes to certain laws like that. I actually think it is because I feel like each time you see the news stuff like that nowadays, like when something happens, you see like they automatically put like he could face up to life. They don't really kind of go into details like, okay, what actually happened behind the scenes. Y'all just want to throw life right there because that's like for the black culture, like killing somebody, like black killing life equals life. You know what I'm saying? Compared to like what happened in between that space before you kind of get to the life sentence. So I feel like that in the black culture, we always looked upon as guilty until proven innocent. So that's actually,
it's unfortunate for both sides
because
somebody had to lose a child and somebody had to bury one. To the system, they had to lose it to the system, and one person had to bury their child. That they ain't gonna never be able to see.
Now the father did come out. He made a statement, and I ain't gonna lie, it was very disheartening when he made that statement. Very disheartening. But I think he was, you know what I'm saying, the trial was over, lost his son. And also, too, he was drinking. He called Carmelo a watermelon felon. A watermelon felon. And when I saw that, when I saw that right there, I said, that's one, he's hurt. But two, I said, I'm like, it's kind of like, that's how you see us. Like that's how you see us. Like you make insults like that, and I get it. You know what I'm saying? You upset. Your son's not coming back, and I get it. I understand. I'm not in that situation, but I don't want to be in that situation. I don't ever have to bury my son. If I have kids, I don't ever have to bury them. I want them to bury me. It should be like that. Bury me first. I want to bury them. But as we get older, we learn we have to keep certain comments to ourselves.
Completely.
And when he made that comment, watermelon felon, I think a lot of black people I saw on social media, it was actually embarrassing to see black folks talk about his dead son. I'm like, that's not as a black culture, we have to do a little bit better as that. I said because at the end of the day, he's not here no more to speak to speak about what happened.
Mm-hmm.
I said, but the father's also not right as well too for making a comment because that did like upset a lot of people when he made that comment, especially like a watermelon fell and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Those two right there, like it's calling like a white person out their name and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But kind of diving back into, you know what I'm saying, in this topic, man. I know you experienced about you working with celebrities and that type of lifestyle, man. You said you work with BET. But one thing, I know I said it earlier in the beginning, man. I want to hear this story, bro. You mentioned about Kirk Franklin.
Heck yeah.
First of all, is he that short in real life?
He's like 5'4".
I ain't gonna lie. Hey, he stood about the chair one day.
He's 5'4", but that energy about 6'6".
Yeah. He's very like you know he walk in the room.
Mm-hmm.
You know he like he got that look. He got that aura of like he walked right in the doors.
He's a cool guy.
And I get that a lot just from social media. Even his like he got on the podcast platform as well.
Yeah.
About when he do like little dinners with like and they had Snoop Dogg the game.
Den of Kings.
Yeah, I love that podcast. It breaks down a lot about like what men like about certain conversations about men like just the mentality and like the lifestyles and we all grew up in things like that. That's a great podcast.
Absolutely.
But I want you to dive a little bit more about your experience with Kirk Franklin. That's actually like
life changing.
That I bet it was. How was that?
Ooh, man, that's starting what 2022.
Ooh, wow.
All the way to what 2025.
That was recent.
Yeah.
Recent. Okay,
Yeah.
Recent.
Man, I met him. I was on a Sony Music shoot, doing a music video and album cover with Tamar Braxton, and I was shooting.
Tamar Braxton. Mama. Hey, okay. Continue. He called my ears at Tamar Braxton.
Yeah.
Go ahead, continue, man.
So I got flew out to Los Angeles to work, shooting behind the scenes for the Tamar Braxton project. It was a 3-day project. Okay. First day was shooting the album cover, 2 days of music video. Wow. And through that, I was killing it. I was doing my Chris Cavanaugh thing, and within that, end up meeting Tamar and her entire team was very excited about the photos and the videos and how everything was. I never shot video prior to that project. No.
That was your first.
One of my friends said, "Do you know how to shoot video?" I said, "Yes."
You just lied.
I mean, it's the same way you do with photo. It's just moving.
Yeah. Okay. I feel.
And I did BTS. I edited in iMovie, and at the end of the day,
BTS.
Yep.
Okay.
At the end of the day, it came out to be what it was. She loved it. Her team loved it, and then her manager at the moment, and also her best friend Norman Jumfrey, he was in there, and me and him start cutting it up and chopping. And he was like, "Where are you from?" And I was like, "I'm from South Carolina." He was living in Columbia, South Carolina at the moment. And he was like, "Oh yeah, man, like we're gonna be working together for a long time." And normally in Hollywood and also in the entertainment industry, yeah, you know. But Norman messaged me like 3 weeks later, and he was like, 60 days, ? On tour. I was like, I was in a season of saying yes. So I said, I mean, absolutely. He asked me to be over all photo, video, and, creating content for the experience of the tour. Within that, I had 2 days to impact my life up for 2 months. I went on tour with Kirk Franklin in Maverick City, and it was a 50-city arena tour.
She was out of 50 cities.
Yes, it was the biggest. It's the biggest grossing gospel music tour ever.
Jesus Christ.
And then we did a whole nother month, so it came at 3 months. But within that, the first tour, I was doing all the photo, all the video, putting everything out for the social media, with the team of people who were also curating it. And within that portion, I never talked to Kirk Franklin that entire tour because I was nervous. First day of even tour rehearsal, said nothing to the man, was just recording, doing my job. And that whole tour went by. And the entire time when we was on tour, of course, I was shooting this content and doing all these things. They were trying to pitch another guy to him. And shout out to my boy Rob. And within that, it just didn't work out. So they started to pitch me to, hey, Chris is single. Chris don't got no kids. Chris is good at what he does. Maybe you should hit up Chris. Maybe y'all should see. So we ended that 60-day run of that tour. And at the end of it, almost his wife hit me up on Instagram, Miss Tammy, and she said, "Hey, do you mind sending me some photos of Kirk? I want to put together a post for him on Father's Day." So I sent her this PDF beautiful deck of all the images I created for him. I never went to him showing him my work. I never went to him doing anything. I was just doing my job, getting the people their content, and going to the next city. With him in that, he saw the images, and the last day of tour, he came up to me. He was like, "Hey, King."
That's how it sounds. That's how you talk.
Oh, I know how to do it well. He was like, "King, I just want to let you know, like, you're a genius, man. You're a genius." And I was like, "Thank you so much." I was like, "What the heck? Kurt Franklin called me a genius?" So he was like, "Man, like, I really appreciate you, King." And then he went off, him and his bodyguard, Brandon, and they walked to the tour bus, and we, ended the tour. And the next thing you know, 3 months went by, and I went on another Sony Music project, and I was working with doing a whole nother album cover, and then I was in Dallas. And through that, it was rumor mill that we were going to be doing a tour. They were going to be doing another part 2 to the tour. And I was like, "Hey, I'm trying to get on that." The first tour, I got to say, was crazy because it was a new situation, a new chapter that has never been done. So it was a lot of figuring out. It was a lot of discomfort, but it was the best time of my life. Like, it shaped and molded me and sharpened me to who I am today. And within that second portion of the tour came on, and the money wasn't the same, all of this, but something told me to go. It was like, you had unfinished business. So I called all of my friends, and I was like, "Okay, cool. Like, should I go? You know what time we had, And I went, and I told Norman, I was like, "Hey, yeah, like, I'll go, And then we flew out to do the tour rehearsals and all those things like that. And now we didn't do tour rehearsals because it was the same thing. It was the same tour 3 months later. And within that, then I started to kind of, the rumor has already been going, "Hey, you should start working with Chris." And, just checking, seeing what Chris have to offer. And he started to come up to me now looking at it, like he was scoping me out. He was like, "King, can you edit this video for me?" And then even just prior to that, let me tell you how real Kurt Franklin is. I wasn't working for no Kurt Franklin at this time, but he was just asking me to do videos in those 3 months that we got off a tour and through the 3 months of the next tour. And he sent me some money. Like, I think he sent me like 2 bands or whatever, just off of like editing little clips for him to put on his social media. And we had a real dope chemistry.
Yeah.
And on the second tour, he started to come up and ask me to create more things for him. And we just found that we finished each other creatively in the ways that we would maneuver and work. Like, he could say something and I would know what to do. Yeah. So we ended that third portion of the tour, and it was already the thing of a possibility of me coming and, working and moving to Dallas or whatever. So we were in Pensacola, Florida, and I got the video. And he called, he was like, "King, how you doing, man?" And I was like, "I'm good, man. I'm just enjoying." He was like, I heard that, like, you might be open to the possibility of moving to Dallas." And I said, "Yeah, like, I'll definitely, if it may, like, of course." Yeah. Like, I had to play a little bit, like a little player in it, because, I'm like, "Yeah, if it makes sense, like,
like,
inside, I'm like,
jump out, like, "Yeah, I want to take it, really."
Yes.
Yes.
Completely.
Yeah.
So he was like, "Man, well, I'm honored. I'm honored, King, and I can't wait to work with you." Yeah. And next thing you know, 3 months later, again, now I'm coming out here and I'm shooting an album cover for Kurt Franklin. Okay. And then 3 days later, I had to go back to South Carolina, find a place, move to Dallas. About 3 or 4 days later, I moved back to Dallas from that album cover, and I started working with him April 17th of 2023. And man, that was an experience that changed my entire life, because you got to learn from someone who has been doing this for over 30 years in the industry. Yeah. I learned how to be and maneuver in this position of life of where I am now. Especially with my social media growing, and you start to take on a sense of public figure and popularity and celebrity, how to maneuver within that. And then even just within the maneuverings of, I'm by this man who's figuring out life. He's, but also have lived life, and you learning how to be a man, you learning how to be a businessman, an entrepreneur, you learning how to be a creator, and how to expand even more within the possibility of creating, how to give a little more. And, even just when it comes to the people, like I create for the people. I create for myself, but I create for the people. And it's just a lot of like dope things, being able to see the world, being able to go to award shows, being able to have access that I created through working with him, but also through the portions of him utilizing my things as Chris to utilize my core competencies to expand outside. Because even when I started this opportunity and job, April 17th, I knew that there was a start date and an end date. And what you did within that time was going to determine the trajectory of your life after that date. And so within that, everything that I built, I worked with all the icons in gospel. I went to the award shows. I worked with, and photographed and did video of Will Smith and all of these things. I've worked with major figures. I've been to the major television shows and all of these things. And I'm very grateful that he shared his stage with me, his life with me. And it was 2.5 years of being able to really expand Chris in a way that I knew I was going to become and what I was going to do. But I didn't imagine it working in that way, because I'm a huge manifester. When I finished that Tamar Braxton project, I spoke about wanting to work. I literally have the video, the Facebook post. I said that I wanted to spend 2 years of my life working with a major public figure, documenting their lives in an editorial way. And then 3 months later, I go on tour, and then all of this happened. But man, that was one of the best moments of my life, and it was a chapter that has literally allowed me to experience what needed to happen, because I was going to move to LA after that tour. And yes, you were going to have to go through hurdles of A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and all of these. But that opportunity took me from, I'll say I built A, B, C, D, E, F. But that took me from G all the way to Z. And I'm still growing. And now we on the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Now you off the letters now, you're on the numbers now.
Yes. And so that has really allowed me to expand in so many ways. And I really appreciate that. Like, shout out to Kurt Frank.
So the mention is, was that the starting point of your career? Like, kind of start you to the next stop?
No, man. I've had so many different careers within photography. And this is the crazy point. Like I said, I was in a season of just saying yes, because I was, like I said, I started from high school. I went into high school to then being and dropping out of high school to start my own business. 2 weeks later, after dropping out of high school, I went to New York, started working with agencies, started doing fashion editorials. I'm 21, working with $10 million yachts with $30,000 of clothing. And then you go from there to the what's next after that, and then it's celebrity. Then I started to work with celebrities in 2015. My first celebrity client was Tina Campbell. Then it became Eva Pickford from America's Next Top Model. Then Malika Hag from Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Then it started growing and growing and growing. And so at that point, I've done all this stuff. When the opportunity happened, I was on Sony Music sets, But so I've already built Chris, and even just out of that, I was flying back and forth, working with Viacom, VH1, MTV, BET, flying to New York, doing ad campaigns in East Hampton and Southampton with major multi-million-dollar fashion brands. So it was definitely, I built the rocket, but that was the fuel.
So with all that success that was going on at that period of time, how did you handle stress at that moment? If there's any stress that came across, how did you handle that? I know with all that success, especially all that success going on at one time, you're going around so many things. I know sometimes as a mind, when everything's going so good, you was you waiting for that little stopping moment.
I'm always waiting for the building to break.
Yeah. So
and it's something where I know that every day is going to be greater because God's will is in what I do. But sometimes that keeps it in me to never get complacent.
Stay humble.
Yeah. And he said the same thing with he's that person that's always and it was so many similarities just looking at his life that I had. And I'm just that thing always kept me wanting to be a go-getter. If I'm gonna do photography, if I'm gonna do social media, if I don't have the numbers of this person, I'm gonna outproduce you within content that's going out. So yeah, you're putting out 1 video, 2 videos a week, 3 videos a week. I put out 20 that day. you know, so I'm gonna get you,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and
Consistent.
yeah,
Consistent.
and I'm gonna make the smallest videos, the largest videos, the most curated videos, but at the end of the day, it's the possibility of whatever I'm looking for to find me,
Yeah.
you know, so um going through that, man, the stressful portion, it was a lot of pressure because working in gospel music, now let's not be, is here go the truth serum.
Be honest.
Working in gospel music, you're stretched and you're stretched thin. And I think a lot of the times within those positionings, it's an expectation to just be happy to be there. You know, not saying that's directly connected to the artist that I was working with, because he always made you feel seen, visible, and all these things. But in that industry, once they know you can do, then a lot of people will stretch you thin to complete nothing. And a lot of people come out of this industry not building in the moments of creating. And while you're creating the life for somebody else and showing the life for somebody else, you're not doing the same and documenting your life and your experiences, so that after that stuff is over, you have content to put out to show what you did. And that's why a lot of photographers and creators go into these creative industries and they're upset. They're, you know, bitter about the things that happen. Yes. Should I be bitter? Could I be bitter? I was released from a job with the biggest gospel music artist in the world in the middle of a studio session. I had 23 days to find out how I was going to replace a 6-figure income. This ain't nothing that happened years ago. This just happened October.
Yeah.
October 6th, I was let go and told that I was being let go. October 31st was my last paycheck. So it's like, yeah, I could have been a person that's very bitter. I never signed an NDA. I never signed in my entire, but I remain grateful because at the end of the day, every season has a start and an end. And I know that what I did within that time frame of that, after that, I was cool. So, I mean, it was a lot of stress that went into that. It was a lot of stretched thin, but all of those things that pulled me, that punched me, that stabbed me, that cut me, it was all things that sharpened and you know, molded me to be able to say, hey, these are my core competencies. I've made the biggest gospel music in the world's life make sense to a global stage. I brought relevance to what he already had. Because he ain't no person that, you know, he Kurt Franklin. Yeah. But at the end of the day, as well as he helped me, I helped him, and it allowed him to have a certain level of increased visibility. You can, and we can talk this way. You can look on his page and look all the way from when it started to go black and white on his page, from April 17th in 2023. It went from black, like all the stuff he was putting, it went to a black and white stage. And you can look all the way up until the Den of Kings kind of like episodes kind of in purple in what his numbers are. That man's content was hitting 10 million, 8 million views. And these are not just kind of few posts. These are every single post. What gospel music artist posts look like that? You know, so I learned formula and strategy through what worked. And I was like, hey, you could be that person that after that opportunity, all that goes to trash, or you can take that and, hey, I can start positioning that to clients and put them on contracts and start building my business and showing people and doing workshops and taking all these things that I learned in that season to make it work for me and make money for me, you know? So thankfully, God had my back in that transition and it allowed me to really flourish. But yeah, it's a lot of stress and a lot of things that go with your life and your identity now being connected to somebody fully, because you're creating their stuff, you're always with them, but also it's a gift within itself as well, you know, after the opportunities in the transition. So
I said, why did it let you go?
Oh man, honestly, you know, excuses are always something that are made, but let's be real. Like, I don't want to touch too deep into it. Like, money is sometimes one way for everybody. You have deadlines that have to be met and things that sometimes are missed. You know, I don't want to go too far in it, but like we were on the go. And like I said, within gospel music, a lot of the times you're overworked, you're stretched thin, but also an expectation for you to perform at 100% of doing 6 jobs. Sometimes you're gonna miss. You know, so it was that time, and it was the season where like it was already time to like just go. But when it did, you know, I mean, they still wanted a working relationship. They still wanted to do things contractually and stuff like that. But it was time. It was time to go.
So it was time for you to go, especially like you said, from that last day, and like I said, that was 6-figure income, basically you mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
Did your faith have to get stronger after that period?
Heck yeah.
How did it get stronger?
My faith had to get stronger because I was relying on that job to be the source and not the resource, you know? And I think a lot of the times we start to get into opportunities, jobs, and income and all of these things, and we start to look at the person who's providing us that monthly deposit as the source. And you have to understand that God is the source, and He allows people to have opportunity for you to have that as a resource. And so even within that, I mean, that was a lot. Like, that was a 6-figure income.
Yeah.
You know, that's even if it's $6,000, $7,000 a month, $8,000, $9,000 a month. That's a lot of money when you collectively put in, you know, what that is.
Yeah.
My ADD kicked in just now, so I forgot what you said. But hold up, spit that question again.
Basically, the question was, how did your faith get stronger?
Oh yes, but I had to fully rely and trust God in the process, because it wasn't like I was just working with Pookie from down the street.
Yeah, yeah.
And I mean, you had to know that like everything that was happening was for a season. And my life has always been a thing where when there's transitions of seasons that are coming, it's like it gets real weird within things that are happening. But I had to really stay strong in knowing that God had something, you know, for me outside of that opportunity. And now He wanted Chris to be on Chris time. And I didn't know how to maneuver. My bishop told me, my best friend told me, he was like, you was supposed to be out of that opportunity, but you didn't have the language, or you didn't know how to maneuver it to move out of it. He was like, you was supposed to be out of that a year ago. After you finished that first tour, you were supposed to be out of that.
Yeah.
But of course you get an income, and this is something, you know, you're in, all of these things like that, you go with it because you've upgraded your life and all of that. But like I said, I'm very, very grateful for the opportunity that it is, and that it was, and what it showed me, and how it shaped me and molded me. And I'm always appreciative, you know, in the way it happened, how it ended, and what's to be for the future.
Okay. So what the future holds for you now? What the future holds for you now?
Oh man, I'm in it. I'm doing my mentorship. I'm speaking to people and showing young minds and older minds how to do what I've done. What Chris wants to do is what Chris is doing now. We're on the mic. You my first podcast, I think.
You for real?
You my first podcast.
Hey man. hey, can I be rude with you? You my first guest.
Listen, there we go.
First guest.
There we go. You my first podcast, and I want to sit on podcasts and you know, do and speak to people, but also I want to do art and entertainment motivational speaking and traveling around the world, and you know, being on panels and talking about creativity and elevation and you know, all of these things that go into taking core competencies and making life work for you and expand for you. And coming from small towns like Walterboro, South Carolina, or some people are in South Dallas, some people are in Oak Cliff, and people feel like you can't get to a certain space because your background is this, or your living situation is this, and showing them that it's possible. So I just want to travel around the world. I want to speak. I want to create. I want to have people around me with ideas that we can bring to existence and keep motivating. I want to get more into directing. I want to get more into other business adventures and things like that allows Chris to not have to always be a part of. And I'm young. I'm 33. I'm still figuring it out. You know, but at the end of the day, it's like I know that what is for me is going to be for me, and it's coming, and it happens every day. In every situation that I've been in, I'm existing in, and will be in, is part of that mission to constantly keep giving me the experience, you know, to be able to talk to somebody that is going to have that avenue.
There was a saying where they always said men always mature later in life compared to women. They feel like that men always mature probably in their, I say like late 20s, early 30s.
I'm old soul.
Because I know, because it's so funny.
Nigga, I was 30 at 10.
Oh shit! Yeah, you like me. I grew up in a military household, so like, you know, my dad was in the military, and like I understood, like, you know, certain things that he did. Now there was certain things I thought I could have got better at, but certain like small things he, like, you know what I'm saying, like installed into me at a young age, I still use to this day.
Completely.
And like I think my mama, I never get my mama. Mama, I love you, but she mentioned one time. I said, Mama, I said, I know, you and my dad been married for like 30. My dad passed away about 10 years ago. I told my mama, I said, y'all was married for about 32, 33 years, stuff like that. I said, how old was Pops when he finally got it? He said, what do you mean? When everything started coming together and he finally got it.
Right.
She was like, oh my God. She was like, oof. She said about like 31, 32. I said, hold on. I said, y'all got married at the age of 20, 21, right? So yeah. I said, it took him 10, 11 years to get it. She was like, listen. She was like, and that's what she told me though. She's like, sometimes like with men, sometimes like, yeah, they're mature at a young age. But it's like for everything to start actually clicking and rolling for them, like financial wise and the type of future for them, they start probably like that little, like, you got a vision at a young age. But like I said, but everything start putting it in action, they start like that 30 range, that 31 range.
Completely.
Like I said, because I feel like that's when you get more seasoned.
Completely.
You go through multiple seasons in your 20s to like put yourself in these situations now, where you know the mistakes you made previous, you learn from it in those 20s. Like you said earlier, you were so much of a yes. Now in your 30s, you're like, okay, I know how to like be more myself compared to me just stepping out.
Completely.
I like that.
Completely.
So man, this last part of the section, man, is called a little rapid fire. You know what I'm saying? Nothing too much.
Okay.
I'm just saying a few things. Like I said, I just wanted to see what you're gonna pick.
Okay.
The first one is, which one would you rather have? Success or significance?
Elaborate on significance.
I can't elaborate on that.
Success.
I was hoping you say success. Got me. All right. Next one. Money or freedom?
Money. Because money gets you freedom.
There you go. Money gets you freedom. I know a lot of old folks say freedom over money. I say, no.
I want to be free and broke.
Listen. I enjoy.
It's free to go and lay on that street. And it's 119 degrees outside right now. I don't want that.
Listen, that's too much freedom for me. That's way too much freedom. And the last one. If there was anybody in this world, you do photography, you would shoot a photographer, who would it be? Anybody in this world?
Oprah. Tyler Perry.
You never met Tyler Perry, have you?
Yeah, many of times.
Oh, you met Tyler Perry? How was he?
He was cool. A tall man.
He's like 6'3", right? 6'5"?
I'm 5'8".
I know that. Somebody said
tall man.
Tyler Perry. They said somebody said he was an NBA player.
And then his security guards are like 7 feet.
See, I believe it.
And they wear platform boots.
Hell no.
Go dancer boots.
Can't step out.
No, they like his security guard are huge.
Hey, fuck around, find out.
Listen, I don't want to.
Hey, all the folks on social media talking about Tyler Perry. Fuck around, find out.
I saw him backstage when we were in New Orleans, and I was like, sheesh, like,
yeah, like could be like, cause you can tell like, online, like
he's a cool dude.
He is.
Yeah, he
cool. seemed like very like you could tell like he seemed very like to himself and humble, like in some type of way. Like he don't just seem like
he didn't come with an entourage and stuff like that to any show that he came to or any place that I've seen him. He's with his security and cool.
I remember he started his platform, like I said, with like the Medea, all that stuff, and of course people criticize him for all of that. But I'm like, if you look at comedy. Like comedies back in the 90s, the 80s, the 70s, you had a lot of
the 50s, the 40s, the 30s,
yeah, you had a lot of
20s.
You had a lot of those comedians, you know what I'm saying, dressing up as women. You know what I'm saying? Just like a fun type of character. Like with Martin, you had Sinead and
people just sensitive now.
And to be honest, man, I feel like in today's time, it's like why we gotta be so sensitive?
That man put on what he put on and has created opportunity for millions of people and thousands of people. He
got people jobs.
He got people jobs.
He got his own studio. Come on.
Thank you.
Own studio. Got people jobs.
Thank you.
His own studio. Come on now. Like, people, we will not know Uncle Curtis right now without Tyler Perry.
Listen.
Thank you. Calvin.
That part.
Come on. You remember CJ? I knew CJ from what was that black movie was in? With,
I know.
What was that movie called with Wesley Snipes?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
He was in that. Oh my God, it's on the tip of my tongue. He was in that movie. And like I said, I haven't seen him in years and years and years. He popped up on Tyler Perry. When I saw on Tyler Perry, I said, that's all.
And he be keeping the people working.
He do.
And he gives opportunities to people who are aspiring, Yeah. There's a black man doing this stuff. Give people grace. They're not going to always get it right. But, I mean, he's creating opportunity for folks to have spaces that they normally wouldn't have in Hollywood and, in all these other film places.
You said give people grace. They're giving Kevin Hart a lot of slack right now. Just for like, he had a little roast he had on Netflix. Somebody made a comment about George Floyd. They made a comment about George Floyd. It was like some like white dude made a comment about George Floyd, and people got mad at Kevin Hart because they're like, "Well, you the one that," like they said, "You not." That's why you didn't attack him. Basically, everybody said why Kevin Hart did not go after the dude that made that George Floyd comment and was so sensitive. Kevin Hart was like, "It's a roast. I can't sit there." It's like
when you're in a fight, do you tell people how to fight?
No, you can't.
Okay. Because you might want to throw fists. I'm gonna get that bottle right here.
Listen, one thing I know, people fight different.
Thank you. So you gotta
fight
understand
different.
the room.
Some people might use hands, some people might use their feet, some people might grab somebody across the room. So like I said, Kevin Hart did get a lot of heat for that. I don't think he should have got that much heat because he wasn't the one that said it. Now they got upset because he didn't defend it, but I'm like, he didn't want to say it though. I said it was other. I said y'all should come back that guy more than Kevin Hart in that moment. But if you saw the roaster, it was a lot of like things that was said that was like hurtful and like.
Yeah, I remember they was talking about somebody's dead husband or something like that.
Was it Cheryl Underwood?
Cheryl Underwood, I think.
Cheryl Underwood. Yeah, they said somebody her dead husband committed suicide.
But you on a roast.
There you go. But like I said, but they said behind the scenes though that she already knew they was going to talk about it.
Oh, of course.
Even with Kevin Hart, they said something about his.
If me and you in a roast,
I'm gonna walk up and I say, "Hey, can I?"
No, I'm not doing that. I'm gonna get you. I want it to be abrupt. But all of them known each other for years. Like I think it's a type of thing within comedy that like. If me and you are friends and stuff like that, and we know this is our profession.
Especially it's a room full of comedians.
Yes, you can't have no sensitivity within that.
But also, that's why I said too. I said that Bernie Mac would probably hate to be in this type of era right now of comedy.
He wouldn't be able to say nothing.
Man, he was the first one to say "fuck them kids."
Listen,
and like I said, but if you remember from the Bernie Mac show, he never said it on the show, but you could tell that was his mentality on the show. Like
especially to Jordan.
Oh my God, bro! Listen Jordan, he had a soft spot for baby girl.
Listen,
Jordan and the other girl. Oh man, listen, man.
Completely.
Was it Vanessa? Yeah, them two. But like I said, I think with Bernie Mac, in that type of time, it's like that was a perfect era for him.
Oh, completely.
That was a perfect era for him. Like them, the kings of comedy, all that. That was a perfect era for them. And today's time is like, well, comedy is a little bit different now than it was previous. You got all these guys from social media. Kind of started that platform on social media. It's still comedy, but I feel like it's more skits now. Yeah, more skit comedy than actual like.
Because everybody's scared to speak.
You just have to speak.
Yeah, you can't do on social media. You can't make no mistakes. People don't give room for no type of anything, So it's like, what you gonna do?
That's actually true. That's actually true. I just seen even like artists, celebrities, like songwriters that made some comments. Like I said, that if I'm being honest, like they got canceled or like the cancel culture. And
now some people do need to be.
I agree. I agree.
I don't say cancel because the only person that can cancel you is God. But
put a mute.
Yeah. Well, not even on mute because now I'm disrupting. Your thoughts, your views, your belief, and we got freedom of speech.
True.
But at the end of the day, it's like I think some people be like, "Listen,
have a sit down. Listen, we need to
chill for a second.
We need to. Hey, what's? Are you all right?
Listen,
what's going on?
Listen.
Because one thing, especially on this platform right here, and I think you did perfectly. I don't know, man. Thank you so much for being on this.
Man, thank you for having me.
Yeah, man. But one thing on this platform, I even tell my crew when we speak, I always speak from like your perspective.
Completely.
Don't ever speak from from somebody else's point of view. Because it's not relatable. Like if you want to be very authentic and relatable, speak from like your personal experience that that it might, like I said, it's gonna tie into our audience.
Because my experience is gonna be my experience,
But like I said, your story is your story.
Listen.
Ain't nobody been in your shoes. People I ain't lie. You probably had what I'm saying, was it co-stars in your story, but you're the actual author.
Completely.
You can remove them.
I'm actually writing a book right now.
Oh, you are?
Completely. It's called From Walterboro to the World. And it's talking about my life from 2015 of my career starting. Well, even just prior to that, it's starting from me being a kid, from that church event that I was telling you about, and my mom telling me to use what I have to get to where I want to be, you know, with that camera. And then that $375 went towards that camera. She put 150. My cousin put 150, and then it allowed me to have that camera, but it allowed me to start my business. And then it allowed me to go from there to where I am today. So I got a book coming out called From Walterboro to the World. And then, of course, you know, I have other opportunities like mentorship. And when it comes to products online, teaching photographers lighting and all of those things, my lighting diagram ebooks. If you follow me on social media, head over to the link in the bio. Pick yourself up one. All of it's able to be downloaded on your phone. But yeah, man, that's what we do all of this for, to keep creating legacy, to keep expanding and taking things and experiences that we've accumulated in our ways and in our stories to put out to and allow other people to digest, you know, and take from it.
That's huge, man. You mentioned legacy. That's something that I think as a Black community in this generation, we should focus more on legacy. It's like leaving something behind for the next generation behind us.
Completely.
And I feel like, you know what I'm saying, this from my parents, my situation, you know what I'm saying, I feel like there was nothing really left behind. It was just more like the mentality they gave me. You know what I'm saying, of like how to process going forward when things don't go your way. But then I'm realizing now I'm getting older, well, okay, if I got the mentality, let me go ahead and kind of leave something else behind as well too. Like how can I leave like some type of like financial freedom or some type of financial literacy class, stuff like that, where I know that like that could be a skill gap right there, where I know kids as 18, 19, they probably want to start learning about, like I said, financial loans. They want to start learning about like life insurance, stuff like that, because those stuff right there, people don't understand. Like in other culture, that stuff are established already.
I do want us to start leaving behind character traits, though.
That's actually,
you know,
that's important.
And maneuvering,
yes,
and you know, positioning, because ain't no need to have all that money and your internal is fucked up. You know,
what character trait would you leave behind?
Ooh.
If it was come down to you, what character trait would you leave behind?
Honesty. Yeah, and being fair. You know, being kind. Not nice, but kind. You know, I think that's something the world needs more of, kindness. You know.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And I'm not trying to say that I'm butterscotch sweet, but at the end of the day, it's like I think we should have more grace within how we treat people on a day-to-day, and you know how we maneuver, respect, like that is real big.
So I kind of compare myself to one of the sour straws. Yeah, like you put me in the mouth first, something very sour, but then when you start chewing a little bit, I get a little bit sweet. You know what I'm saying? So, but like I said, kind of give and a take. I think for me, if I would leave a characteristic behind, I'd probably say passion, and definitely, I want to say really self-endurance. Self-endurance. Passion.
I love that.
Passion and self-endurance.
I love that.
I think sometimes, like I said, we get burnt out sometimes. That if we don't have that self-endurance, we can definitely just
completely
just be in a mental block
completely
for multiple days. But that does wrap everything up for.
Shout out to the Toasties.
Oh man, shout out to the Toasties, man. Chris said it, man. Shout out to the Toasties, man. But I want to appreciate Chris for coming out, man. If y'all don't know, this was, you know, I just met Chris, man. He, you know, I'm gonna lie, man. I asked him, I said, hey, if you got time, pull up, and you know, lie, man. Chris, just like that. So, Chris, man, he showed up, showed out. I hope y'all got some good information about Chris, man, his lifestyle. Please, how can we follow you on social media? How can we follow you?
Man, you can follow me at the Chris Cavanaugh, THE, Chris Cavanaugh, or the DEVONTEE, and that's on Instagram, that's on TikTok, that's on all of that. So it's either the Devontae or the Chris Cavanaugh.
I'm gonna put the name in the description as well. All right, so y'all look out for that. But before we go, you want to take one more shot before we head out? Oh, you good?
I wouldn't be able to make it downtown. I'm a lightweight.
All right, man. All right, but I'll make the last toast for us, man. Usually we kind of leave on the last toast. But for anybody that tuned in today, that watched this episode, if you got any type of information, if you got knowledge, if you got some type of like you just sat down and want to watch us for the last hour, 25, 30 minutes of the time, man, I appreciate it. But each time we come on here, each time we share our stories, it's more deeper than what you think it is.
Completely.
It's like we really like share our experiences, and we want to try to make sure our experience we go through, we want to make sure it relate to y'all. And like I said, the best way about doing is, like I said, dropping our wall down, and like I said, just being there for everybody else, just showing up for everybody. So Chris, I thank you for showing up, man.
Appreciate you, man.
Toast up.
Toast up.
Out. See y'all next time.
Listen,
man,
that thing right there, that's some good stuff.
Oh, man.
Good conversation.
Thank you, man.
Yeah,